History is shaped by more than wars and revolutions. Sometimes the most enduring legacies are hidden in plain sight, masked by subtleties, like the peculiar position of a hand. Napoleon at the battlefield, Karl Marx penning his revolutionary ideas, George Washington gazing across a war-torn landscape. All share the same enigmatic pose. We are drawn into a scene, an imagined gathering of Europe's most powerful men. Kings, generals, philosophers, all dressed in stately attire, locked in debate over the future of their nations. Tension mounts. Their faces reflect anxiety and ambition. Yet amidst the turmoil, a peculiar detail draws the eye. Most have their right hand tucked inside their coat. It's subtle but unmistakable, a shared gesture that feels both deliberate and symbolic. But why? Why this shared posture across continents and centuries? This gesture was not born of fashion or random happenstance. It emerged from the ancient world, where poise and control were the hallmarks of great men. The hidden hand was a symbol, one that spoke of discipline, power, and mastery over oneself. The Greeks, the narrative reveals, believed that true power came not from brute strength, but from self-control and wisdom. The man who could command his own emotions, who could stand calm while the world around him burned, was the one most fit to lead. To hide one's hand was to signify restraint. It was a promise, silent but powerful, that this was a man in control, both of himself and the world around him. The Enlightenment thinkers who idolized the Greeks adopted this gesture in portraiture. In an age where appearances mattered as much as actions, the hidden hand came to symbolize control over both body and mind. Napoleon Bonaparte, George Washington, Karl Marx. Each man posed carefully with their right hand tucked inside their coat. These men were not warriors of the body, they were warriors of the mind. For them, the hidden hand was not just a sign of self-control, but a mark of their ability to steer the tides of history. For Napoleon, this was more than just a gesture. In the chaos of battle, while nations fell and kings were dethroned, he kept his hand tucked away as a symbol of restraint. To the world, it was a sign of unshakable confidence, a quiet assertion that he, and only he, held the power. Austerlitz, Jena, Friedland. Each time he stands with his hand in his coat, as if to say, I have everything under control. It is more than a symbol. It is a message to his enemies, to his allies, to the entire world. But it is not just Napoleon. Karl Marx, in a small, dimly lit room, his hand hidden as he writes his manifesto, his mind racing with revolutionary ideas. For Marx, too, this pose signifies control, but of a different kind. Control over ideology, over the hearts and minds of the proletariat. This gesture, seemingly so simple, so benign, was a weapon of power. In times of upheaval, when nations rise and fall, the men who held their hand in their coat were the ones who held history in their grasp. But the true power of this gesture lies not in its visibility, but in what it hides. Centuries have passed, but the power of this gesture remains. From the emperors of old to the leaders of today, the hidden hand is still a symbol of control, of authority, and of history's silent influence on the present. So next time you see a hand disappear into a coat, ask yourself, what else is being hidden?